Hi guys, welcome back to Anita Crochets. My name is Anita. Today we are making this cheeky arrow top and it's very beginner friendly, very easy to make. It's a quick project. I've made it before and wore it. It was good on me and I'm a size medium, so it was good, and the cheeky bit of it was also, very alluring. So I have made the written pattern for this top and it's on my online shops. Also, a tutorial and written pattern for this skirt is available on my channel and my online shops respectively, okay? This skirt is airy, it is so nice, it is so light, so let's get into the top tutorial. First, I am working with a 4.5mm hook. I am working with chunky yarn, okay? I'm working with chunky yarn. It is size 4 yarn. So you need to make sure that you are working with the same size of yarn. If you're not, then you are going to have to adjust following the measurements that I'm providing for you guys to start this tutorial. So let's get started. What's going to happen. You are going to get your tape measure and take measurements of your underbust like you can see in this video. And when I turn around, you see where I stopped. It's like a few inches away from my spine, okay, right there. So I'm getting it up to right there. So those are the measurements that you need, because our straps at the back are going to like stretch out our work. So once you have those measurements, like you can see, I'm going to do the very same thing for my mannequin because I'm making a size small. I'll take measurements of it all the way to those points that I illustrated in the video on myself. And those are the ones I'm going to make. For me here, it shows 21. So that's what I'm going to make. It shows 21 inches. So I'm going to work with 21 inches. Now, you are going to make a slip knot and work chains equivalent to 21 inches or chains equivalent to the number of inches that you got when you took those measurements, okay? So work your chains. I am going to meet you once you have all the chains that match the measurements that you got. Then I'm going to show you what to do. So here it is. I have my cord complete and it's equivalent to the number of inches I had. I'm just going to run my tape measure over it and just make sure it is the one right there, 21. So from here, I am going to get into the second chain stitch from the hook and I'm going to work a single crochet. So I'll get in there and work my single crochet. Now I am going to work one single crochet into every stitch all the way until I come to the end of my row. So work one single crochet into every stitch until the end of the row. And I'm going to meet you once you have all your single crochets complete, then show you how to work the next row. Now, here we are. I've come to the end of my row. This is how my work looks like. I am working with a new tripod. I am still failing at positioning, but I'm going to try to make sure that everything is visible in my edits. So we are going to chain 2, turn our work, and into the very first stitch we are going to work a half double crochet, yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch and work 1 half double crochet. So for this row we are working 1 half double crochet into every stitch all the way until we come to the end of our row, okay? So let me let you guys work your half double crochets and I'm going to meet you once you are at the end of your row right there. Oh yes, now here we are at the end of our first row of half double crochet. Now to work the next row we are just going to chain 2 and turn our work. Work 1 half double crochet into the very first stitch. And we are going to continue working 1 half double crochet into every stitch, okay, until we come to the end of our row. So you're just going to keep working 1/2 double crochet in every stitch until the end of our row, and this is exactly what we are going to do for the next row as well, so that we have a total of 3 rows of 1/2 double crochet. So do this until the end, and then chain to turn your work. Do the very same thing for the next row. Okay guys, now this is how it looks like so far after working my rows of 1/2 double crochet. Now we are going to count all the chains that we have on our row and divide the number by 2. So in that way we are going to mark the center stitch, the stitch at the center of our row. So once we have the center stitch, we are going to count 10 stitches on both sides. So from the center towards the right, you count 10 stitches and mark the 10th stitch, the next stitch, which is the 11th. And then also from the center to the left, you count and mark 10, you count 10 stitches and mark the 11th stitch, okay? So let's do that. And this is how it has to be, okay? Once you have your stitches marked, you're now going to chain 2 and turn your work. Work 1/2 double crochet into the first stitch. Then you're going to work 1/2 double crochet into every stitch until you get to the marked stitch, okay? So let me let you work your stitches until you get to the marked stitch. Then I'm going to show you what to do. So now we are here almost to the marked stitch. That's where we are now. Once now you are at the marked stitch, you see the number of stitches we have here. We have 21 of them. Remember, there was that marked stitch, then the 10 on the left and the 10 on the right, which makes it a total of 21 stitches. So I'm going to chain 21 stitches and skip 21 stitches, okay? So the number of stitches that I'm skipping, I feel and know that they're just enough for a good, cheeky pop. But if you want it wider, then you will have to skip more. Yeah, you will need to skip more stitches, also chain more, okay? But just make sure that the number of stitches that you skip down here are equivalent to the number of chains that you work up here. So once we have our 21 chains, we are going to get into the marked stitch on the other side and work our 1/2 double crochet into that marked stitch, just like that. And once we have that, you can see that in this way we have created our sort of cutout. So now from here, we are going to continue working 1/2 double crochet into every stitch until we come to the end of our row, okay? So I'm going to let you guys work your 1/2 double crochet into every stitch. I kept getting off the table. I don't know why, honestly. I'm still learning to work with this tripod. It's overhead. It's not like the one I had. The one I had was more like a phone holder, so it was simpler to position. This one is kind of tricky, but I'm taking my lessons. So come to the end of the row, then I'm going to show you what to do in the next row. So before we start the next row, this is how my work looks like. Now what's going to happen is I'm going to take out one of my stitch markers and use them to mark the center of our row. Remember, we chained 21, okay? But the center of our row was that stitch that was in between the 10 chains on the left and the 10 chains on the right. So that means I'm going to mark the 11th chain stitch because it's the center of the 21 chains that we have worked, right? So right there, I'm going to put my stitch marker into it because this is where our arrow is going to, start getting inclined from, okay? So now, once we have that center marked, what we are now going to do is we are going to chain 2 and turn our work. Now into the very first stitch, we are going to work 1/2 double crochet, and then we shall continue working 1/2 double crochet into every stitch until the stitch before the marked stitch, okay? Until then I'm going to come back and show you what to do. Now here we are. I am at the stitch before the marked stitch. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to yarn over, and into the marked stitch I'm going to work 3 half double crochets all in this very same stitch. Okay, all the 3 are going to be in this marked stitch, so work your 3 half double crochets all in there. And then once you have that, you are now going to work 1 half double crochet into every stitch going down until you come to the end of your row. So into every chain stitch you work 1 half double crochet, and then into the other stitches you still work 1 half double crochet. So I'm going to meet you at the end of the row and then show you what to do next. Now here we are at the end of our row. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to take out my stitch markers and now mark the second half double crochet that's in between the 3 half double crochets that we worked. Okay, so we mark the second half double crochet of the 3 half double crochets we worked on the previously marked stitch. So once I have that, now I'm going to get my hook and chain 2, turn my work. Into the very first stitch I'm going to work 1 half double crochet, and from here I am going to work 1 half double crochet into every stitch until the stitch before the marked stitch. So let me let you guys work your half double crochets until there. Then when you get there, I'm going to show you what to do next. We are here at the marked stitch, so when we get here into the marked stitch, we are going to work 2 half double crochets all in there. And once you have your 2 half double crochets, you're now going to chain 1 and work 2 half double crochets once again all in this very same stitch. Okay, so this means that we have 4 half double crochets in this very same stitch and a chain 1 in between every 2 of them. Once we have that, we are now going to resume with the 1 half double crochet into every stitch until we get to the end of the row. Okay, so I'm going to let you guys work your 1 half double crochet until the end of the row, and then when I get there I'm going to get back and show you what to do next. So here is what's going to happen. Once you work this row and get to the end of it right there, you are now going to chain 2 and work 1 half double crochet into every stitch until you get to the chain 1 space right there. Yeah, so you put your stitch marker in there into the chain 1 space, work your 1 half double crochet until that chain 1 space. Now into the chain 1 space you work 2 half double crochets, chain 1, 2 half double crochets, all in that very same chain space. Then go ahead with 1 half double crochet until the end of the row. So that's what you're going to repeat until you have a coverage close enough to cover up the whole entire boob area. Okay, so now as you can see, this is my work, and I worked about 5 rows more, 5, 6, 7 rows more from the ones we had. So yeah, this is it. Of course I do not have the peak I want, like the coverage I need for my bust area, so I'm going to start working on the sides of it from here up to that chain 1 space at the peak, and vice versa. So I've worked one side of my top, like you can see, and I'm now going to take you through working the other side. Okay, from where I had stopped previously, I worked 7 rows more before I worked on this one side of the top. So I'm going to show you how to work this other side, and then you'll just feed that very same information into working on the other side, so you know we get done with this tutorial. So what happens, from the bottom I'll insert my hook in there from the bottom of my arrow, and I'm going to get my yarn and pull it through, work 2 chains, and then I will work 1 half double crochet into this very first stitch, and I'm going to continue working 1/2 double crochet into every stitch, okay, until I get to the stitch next to the chain 1 space, okay. So this is it. I am just going to continue working 1/2 double crochet, and this is what you should do the moment you have worked a couple of rows. For example, for sizes small, I advise that you work 7 rows of the arrow before you start working what I'm doing right now. For sizes medium, I advise about 9 rows. And then for sizes large, I advise about 11 rows before you start working on the sides of the arrow to give you more extra coverage so that, you know, the sides of your boobs are not like popping and all that. Yeah, so continue working your 1/2 double crochet into every stitch until you are close to the chain 1 space, or until that stitch that comes before the chain 1 space, okay. So that's where I'm going to meet you, then show you what to do right there. See that? Okay. Now this is it. This is me at the top of my work, at the top of my row. So to work the next row still, I am going to chain 2 and turn my work, and I'm going to work 1/2 double crochet into every stitch all the way until at the end of my row, okay. So you can see that we are literally just working on one side of our arrow. So just work your 1/2 double crochet into every stitch until the end of the row. Then I'm going to let you work the next row as well in this kind of manner. So when you come to the end of this row, you are going to chain 2, turn your work, still once again work 1/2 double crochet into every stitch until you get back up here, okay. So when you are here, that's where I'm going to meet you, then show you what to do. So work this, come to the end of the row, work the next row as well, okay. So now here we are at the top of our row. Yeah, so once you come to the top of your row, we work multiple chains long enough for the strap that can go at the back of our neck and tie up, okay. So you need to see, or you can see and tell that for my side of the row, I worked 3 rows in total. And please make sure that you end up at the top of the arrow, because that's where you need to work this strap, okay. So just in case you are working for size large and you still don't have the coverage that you want, you can work up to 5 rows or 7 rows on the sides of your arrow. In that way you get extra coverage without the arrow going, you know, all the way up your neck, because the more rows that you work for your arrow, the more the peak is going to go all the way up. So you need to work a few rows for the arrow and then just add extra rows on both sides, like on each side of the arrow, to give you extra coverage for the sides of your boobs. I hope you clearly understand that. Yes. So just in case 3 rows are not giving you the coverage you want, you can still work more rows, but just make sure that they are more like in odd numbers, like 3, 5, 7, 9, okay? So that you end up at the top of your work and work your strap for, you know, the neck, okay? At this point, we are going to need to work straps for our panels right there and down there. Just in case your panel is wider, you will have to work another strap in between right there, okay? So that you have 3 panels, up, down, and at the center of, you know, the panel. So that's what I'm going to get into. But yes, what I was explaining about working more rows on the sides, if you're not yet having the coverage you need for your boobs, you can keep working extra rows so that this gets wider and wider like that, okay? So from here, from the neckline right there, it will be wider, but also it will keep the shape of the arrow that we have, all right? So let me get back and just show you guys how we can get our straps added onto this piece. But yes, you can work as more coverage that you need and keep the whole entire design the same, okay? Now guys, to work our straps for the underbust, this is what's going to happen. You are going to get a whole long strand of yarn, really long. Must make sure that it is long. And once it is long, you're going to fold it to create a loop at the top and then 2 ends at the bottom, okay? just like I have done here. So I'm going to cut it like that, and I know this is enough for my strap. And now I am going to get to one of the corners of the underbust where I want to put it. Insert my hook into that very last stitch right there, and I'm going to get my loop on my strand and pull it through like that. Once I have that, I'm going to insert my hook into the next stitch, and pull through a loop. I don't know why I was getting off the table. I'm so sorry, guys. Once you have that, now you're going to yarn over and pull through all the loops. And now you just start working your chains, going on and on and on until you have worked the whole entire strand and have a long strap, a strap long enough to, tie to the back of your underbust, okay? So this is how you work your straps for the other corners like I showed you. So you just keep adding your straps onto the project until you have all the straps complete. And once you have all the straps done, this is how your top should look like. Okay, so that's how you make your cheeky arrow top. Thank you so much for watching. Let me see you all in my next tutorial. Goodbye.